So first I'll show you my project. And this is my project. This is basically a Pong game. It's a
Mhm,
very common game where you have two paddles and a single ball in the screen. It's a 2D
mhm,
game, and you have to just play the game. If the ball touches the background, you have two
mhm.
paddles and you have to control the ball. I'll show you an example. If the ball touches the background, the game will restart by itself. Like, look at this.
Okay.
So you have a score. I
Mhm,
haven't added the score chart over here because I have to
mhm,
work on it. But as you can see, the thing is like it's a very common game, and I must say that it's a very famous game as well. And yeah, I think that's all. I should now show my code,
mhm,
what I have done, how I have created this. So basically, this project was created on processing using Python. And here we're starting with the coding, and in the starting from the line 3 till line 15, we have all the variables that I have used in this code for creating this
mhm,
game. Starting with the variables, we have the paddle width. The first paddle, we have some, as I showed you, that there are two paddles and a single ball. So we're giving the paddle a width, specific width, and we're giving it a height, which is 60. We're giving the paddle a speed. So when I like press the keys, it should have a specific speed to move up and down. And we're giving the ball a size. The size is 10. And then we have the coordinates. Parallel x should always be at 20. Its x position should always be on 20. Y is 0. And same goes with parallel number two's axis and parallel number two's y axis. Same goes with the ball. And where's just the ball speed, where x axis and for the y axis, right?
mhm,
So now we're coming to the screen. These two lines are for the screen. How I have created the screen. The screen size is 800 by 400.
mhm,
And now, as you can see, here it's written reset. So this is basically when you like the ball touches the background and the game should restart. And now we are giving telling the processing how to restart the game. So first we have global paddle one's y-axis and paddle two's y-axis and balls x-axis and balls y-axis. Now
mhm,
what we're doing is when we reset the game, the paddle should come at its original position.
mhm,
It This will happen when the whole screen has a height, and when we're dividing the height by two, the paddle should be in the center. Same goes
Yep.
with paddle two. Okay, and as you can see, this is ball x and ball's y coordinate. When we're dividing the width by two and height by two, it should be in the center.
Mhm.
So,
And
Hudson?
you're also subtracting pedal height divided by two
Yes.
because
Uh,
um
if we do the same thing we have done with the ball, then the paddle will be in the center of the screen. But we want it to be at a side or left or either right. So that's
mhm,
why we're minusing the subtracting the paddle's height from it.
mhm,
All right, sir. And coming towards the background, we have background. This is the color of the background. This is zero. Zero means black, and 255 is white. So now here we're creating the paddles. Now it doesn't have like I haven't imported some paddles or like this, something like this, but we have to create our own paddles for this game. And what
mhm,
we're doing is we are giving it 255 is basically a color. Zero, as I have told you, that zero means black and 255 means white. It's like we have a range from 0 to 255. So the paddle should be white. I have told it, and we're creating the paddles right here, rectangle. We have chosen a rectangle for the paddle, and then, as I have told you, we have created some variables. We're just putting the variables in this rectangle form. We're not using any numbers, like telling it you should be this size, this width, or these things. We're just giving it, as we have created some variables, so we're just telling it the
mhm,
variables. And as you can see, this is ball x and ball's y coordinate. And it should be in the center of the screen. Parallel two's x-axis and y-axis and width and height. Right, sir?
yep.
Now we are moving towards the ball. Basically, mostly people use a circle for creating a ball, but I tried something different. First, I used a circle, but I was like satisfied with the thing. So I searched some things and I got this ellipse. Ellipse is basically like an oval shape but in a horizontal way. So I
Mm-hmm.
chose an ellipse for this game, and it's like more, you can say, realistic, and it has more fun in it. So we're just giving it the same things. We're giving it the variables. We're not giving it any numbers. We're just giving the variables, balls x-axis, y-axis, ball size, and this is for like the width and height both. We're
Mm-hmm.
using it for that. Um, Coming towards how I have like told the paddles to move when I press like starting here, I have used this code like if key pressed. This is used in Python. So if we want to move anything, so we use if key pressed, and I'm telling it if key you receive the command to if we're pressing the W key, either it's capital or small. So you have to like it's as I have written over here, paddle 1y minus paddle speed. What it will do is it's like opposite. When I'm
Okay.
subtracting the paddle speed, it should go up, not down. It's something
So
like we
there's
can say opposite. It should. Yeah, sir.
so
What
there's
were you
also
asking?
like a pedal speed already like in a variable and
We're just
not a fixed
subtracting the
number.
speed over. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we're just like when I press W, it should like go to the speed. Now I have told it to the speed should be 5, and when I'm subtracting it, it should go up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's all the thing. And other than that, if we're pressing S, it should be it can be small or capital. It should add the paddle speed in paddle one's y-axis. So when we're adding the speed, it should go down. It's the
Mm-hmm.
opposite thing, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with the when we're like with the paddle two, we have two paddles. So this was for paddle number one, and this is for paddle number two. We're telling it that if you get the key code, now this is a different code, because if we use key, up is not a key. Basically, not we cannot use key for up in Python. So I used key code, and then I'm telling if you get the key up, then you should subtract the paddle speed from paddle two's
Mm-hmm.
y-axis, and same if we get the down key, you should add the paddle speed in paddle two's y-axis, right, sir?
Yep.
So it will like help it to move up and down. Oh,
Got it.
okay. So coming where now we have to tell the paddles to stay within the screen. Or if we doesn't tell it, it will go just like above the screen or below the screen. So we don't want
Mm-hmm.
that. We need
Mm-hmm.
everything perfect. So what I've used is constraint. Basically, it was a different thing for me. For the first time, I was doing the colliding thing. So I use constraint over it. Constraint basically gives it a specific you can say a specific place to be in. If I'm telling it that if using constraint and I'm telling it paddles one y-axis and paddle two's y-axis, and then we're subtracting the paddle height from the original height of the screen, then it's gonna work. The constraint is gonna work. It's gonna give it a specific position that you're not gonna go above this or below this. And
Mm-hmm.
same is the case with paddle two, right, sir?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is
Coming.
something
Yeah.
new. I had not used constraint before, and this was also
So
like,
something new for me as well.
mm,
I haven't used this code. I have used something like a different thing, like you can see over here. We're checking the ball collision. I have used this, but it wasn't working with the paddles. So I tried a different thing. I searched about it, and then I got this thing now. So now we're moving towards we're gonna move the ball. So just we're telling the balls x-axis and y-axis they're gonna be same. You have seen when I'm starting the game, either the ball will go on the left side, like mostly it will be on the right side. When I'm starting the game, the ball will mostly go on the right side, because if I'm subtracting the ball with the ball speed x, if subtracting the ball's x-axis with the ball speed's x-axis, then it will go to the left side, right side, sorry, right side. And if you are adding it, it will go to the opposite, matlab left side. Same is the case with the ball's y-axis and x-axis. These are the same because we don't have the like the right corners or left corners,
mm,
so both of the things are the same, right,
mm.
sir?
So now
Now,
it depends on the ball speed X and ball speed Y that in which
yeah, we have
direction
given
it
it a
would be
specific
looking.
value. Yes, I have tried this, but it mostly I've seen like because when I was subtracting, it was mostly going to towards the right, and when I'm adding, it's mostly going towards the left. That's the
Okay.
case, but sometimes I've seen it like it's going towards the right by itself. So I have to see what's happening in this. I'm not sure about this. But coming towards the collision with the paddles, so we have to check the collision of the ball with the paddles.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the ball isn't going to collide with the paddles, there's nothing in the game. So we have to check the collision of the ball with the paddles. So this is a different code. I haven't tried it before in my like the whole course, but I tried something new. And this is I don't know how to explain it, but I should. So I'm telling the ball if the your y-axis are less than the paddle one y's, and I don't know how to explain this, sir.
I can I
This whole
I can start to make some sense of it that the
yeah,
ball's y should be greater than or equal to the height where the pedal
yeah,
is, and
got it,
it
sir.
should be lesser than or equal to the pedal's y position plus its height. So it has to
Yes.
stay within this
Plus its height, yes.
bracket. Yes.
Good.
And
Yeah.
then ball x minus ball size divided by 2 should be less than
So
or equal to 100.
actually, this is when it is the thing when the ball like is colliding. So that's the place. We're telling it just like you have to make sure that it should be the paddles, y-axis, and these things. And now we're telling it that we're just subtracting the ball size. So it doesn't like sometimes you have seen that when we were discussing it that the ball was like going in the paddle and then going up and then going towards opposite side, right? So we
Hmm.
had to fix it. That's why we use this like this statement. This was
Hmm.
basically for that thing. And
So
then we're telling, yes, sir. What were you saying?
sorry to cut over here, but like if this is
Yeah.
the position where ball X is, and then we're also subtracting ball size from this X position, then that
Yes, sir.
would ball size divided by 2, basically half of the ball size.
Yes, sir. Half
So
of the ball size.
it would take us to this X position. This should be
Yeah.
less than or equal to pedal 1x plus pedal width.
Axis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
this should be less than whatever the x position over here should be
yes,
less
sir.
than or equal to this x position plus
Yes, sir.
the pedal width that takes us over here to this point. So basically what
Yes,
you're
sir.
trying to have is that you want to stay behind this line for the
Yes,
ball.
sir.
Yeah, so that's I
Yes, sir.
think what's happening over here.
Yes, sir. And we're like subtracting the ball size and we're dividing by two because the either the left or the right side is gonna collide with the with the parallel, not the both sides. So we're telling it like if the half side is colliding, you have to then collide. And here comes the part where we are colliding basically this statement. When we're multiplying it by -1, the ball speeds x-axis, and when we're multiplying it with -1, then it will go to the opposite direction. It's giving it a negative value. That means you have to go in an opposite direction, right, sir?
Hmm.
And same is happening over here. If we are touching it, if this is for the paddle 2 and this is for the paddle 1. These are
Hmm.
both the same things. Just where the thing which is different over here is I don't know, maybe I just forgot. But I haven't added the paddle width over here with paddle 2x.
Hmm.
2x, yeah.
Hmm.
I have to check this.
This can get confusing later on, so it's
Yeah,
always better to
yeah.
have some sort of comments. But you have
Yes, sir.
added some comments to identify the segments of code, so at least that part is good, and that
Huh.
is sometimes like sufficient.
Now here we're checking the ball's collision with the walls. Now basically the point here is when it's colliding with the wall, you have to reset it basically. But first we have to check when it's colliding. The wall should know about it. The background should know about it when it's colliding with me. So here what we're doing is let me read the code first. We're telling it if balls y-axis are less than or is equals to 0. 0 is the one side of the wall, like the coordinate where it starts, and all balls y-axis are less than is equal to the height of the ball. Height is basically we're checking it with the upper and lower walls. This is basically for the upper and lower walls.
Mm-hmm.
And because if we're subtracting the height of the ball size, or sorry, we're subtracting the ball size with the height, so it's basically for the upper and lower wall. And if it's that case, sorry, I was just being confused. It's not for the right and left wall. This is for the upper and lower wall. If it's colliding with the upper and lower wall, this is a very simple code. Then ball's y-axis should multiply with -1. It means
Mm-hmm.
they should go in an opposite direction, right, sir?
The Y should change if it collides like
Yeah, the
up,
y-axis
down.
change.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you now, it was for the upper and lower wall. So these are
Mm-hmm.
basically the y-axis now. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the case over here. And here comes the last part. Now we are checking the left and
Mm-hmm.
right wall. So we're telling it if it collides with that, it's not gonna collide actually. It's gonna just pass through. If it passes through that, the left and right side, the screen should reset. I told you up like when starting of the code that how we're gonna reset the game. And now here comes the reset code. If balls x-axis are less than zero, the left and right side are the zero coordinates, na? So if it's less than that, or the ball's x-axis are like greater than the width of the entire screen, then we are gonna reset the whole game.
That means
This
that
is the
they've gone
last part.
beyond the pedals. So,
Yeah, they have gone
the-
beyond the pedals and they're touching the left and right walls, so we should reset
okay.
the game over there.
So,
Yep.
how much time did it take you to do all of this? This
I think,
project.
sir, 1.5, 1 day, and plus another day, like half of the day. Basically, the thing was, it isn't a very like huge code, I must say, but to some extent, it was a bit different. As I
Mm-hmm.
haven't like if they are not the basic like the most difficult thing for me, the most challenging thing for me was the collision with the walls and with the paddles because this processing doesn't have like a built-in collider in it, so we have to create our own collider, our own like things in it. So this was a bit challenging for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I watched some YouTube tutorials. There were some YouTube tutorials, and I watched some projects, and I took help from some of my like they were family friends. So they
Mm-hmm.
helped me in this,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like very confused in this thing, the collision, and then I just learned it and how we're gonna do it, and then I implemented it in the project.
Mm.
This is
No,
the
this is
yeah,
very well implemented. I can see
yes,
that, of course, there would have been some understanding of like where everything is, maybe like a graph
yes,
or sketch that can help you understand like what
yeah.
is the point that the ball does not have to like go beyond. So, but it's achievable in this way. And yeah, if it were in Unity, then just adding a collider would have been
Yeah,
really easy.
really easy and like the objects and other things, but here we have to
Yeah.
create our own things and like our own collider. So it was a bit
Hmm.
challenging for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Were there any other ideas did you consider, or was it just like this project that you thought you can make something?
Sir, I got another idea, which was a snake game, which we usually got in the old phones where you have to eat an apple and you're getting bigger and bigger.
Hmm.
And it was also a hard project, but my friend was like, I want it and I'm gonna work on it. So he took that project and decided that this is a very common game, and this
Hmm.
was played like widely in the world
Hmm.
in the earliest, and people are also playing it right now. It's a very common game.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
decided like I should try this. It's a very
Hmm.
interesting. It was a very interesting project. So
Now
yeah,
there would be like many different versions of it, but this was the most
yeah,
simplistic because this UI is pretty simple. So just creating that
sure.
would have been like much
And
easier
it was
than
pretty fun playing this game. Like it's a multiplayer game, and then it's pretty
yeah.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
anything else that you would like to add to this, or maybe have you taken on any other projects?
I haven't, but I'm planning to like add a score chart in it. So
Hmm.
if like we're having two players now, so
Hmm.
if one player has like won the game,
Hmm.
it should have a point chart to telling like
Hmm.
how many points that this player has and this player has, and then we should keep a specific point like 5 points maximum. Then one of the player wins. These kind of things, and I wanna like improve in like just give it the paddles a different speed, so that's why it's gonna be difficult, and then giving the ball like a higher number of speed, so it's a difficult, it's a bit difficult to play. So it's gonna be
I
interesting. Yeah.
I think there should be like some sort of processing community as well where they would like publish these sort of projects as well. There should be some form of
Oh,
direct. I mean, you could at least create a GitHub profile for yourself where you
yeah.
can publish
Yes,
this
sir.
project as a processing file, and others can also maybe take that as an example. So,
Yes, sir.
but I think there are, of course, like some YouTube videos of how to create
Yes,
some
sir.
projects on processing. So that
But
could
I
also
was,
help.
yeah, there were some projects in on the YouTube, but I have seen that there was rarely, I haven't seen a processing project on Pong. Now, if there was a project, it was in JavaScript. Like
Mm,
Python was like very rare. I haven't seen a single video of Python. So like
mm,
I have seen videos where they're creating in the Python software and different apps, but not in processing. So
mm,
these are, it's very hard to find it on the YouTube, the same project or like these
mm,
kind of things. So yeah, it
mm.
was a bit different and difficult.
I
Yeah,
can see that there is a processing subreddit as well, so you can maybe explore that. Like, what if there are some people who are publishing some, showcasing their processing projects over there? I do see like some people showcasing some amazing projects over there. Maybe you should also put yours up over there so that people can see.
yeah,
So,
sure, I will.
That's the thing about like Scratch and Unity, that they have these like huge communities where you can publish your work and people can comment on it. But I'm not
Yeah,
sure about processing yet if that has it too. But we can definitely take a look into it a little bit further. So
yeah, we can.
yeah, this is an amazing project and like really well explained. So
Thank you so much, sir.
awesome work. So.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
this is where we're gonna end this presentation. I don't think I would have any
Yes, sir.
questions. You have explained everything.